Hello and welcome to my channel Health and Wellness with Emma Mental. Thank you for watching and thank you for subscribing. I'd love to know where you are and what you find useful and supportive about my little nuggets that I share every day. So today on this Monday, I thought I would just do a short little summary of some of the things that I use personally from day to day as part of my support. If you've watched some of my other videos, you will know that I often comment about the 4 components of health and well-being, the way that I see it and the way that I recommend it and encourage my clients and participants in my courses to consider as part of their well-being journey. The first thing that I would like to mention before I get to my tools and some of the things that I use, I'm sitting in my office, just a slightly different view. This is normally where a client would sit, but I just thought for today it'll be just a different way of having this conversation. The first really important comment I'd like to make here, and I hear this so often and I don't think I mention it enough to clients, even to myself. You are not your diagnosis. So whatever you've been diagnosed with, whichever test or x-ray or blood test or results have come out to determine that you have an autoimmune condition or that you have a digestive problem or an immune concern or whatever it is, you are not that. And I think that is one of the most crucial steps at the beginning of your healing journey, is to dissociate, to detach, to separate your identity and your essence from what you were told that you have, whether it's something like a sinusitis or whether it's something more serious like a cancer. And I hear clients say, my psoriasis, my IBS, my cholesterol, my hypertension. And I can understand why for some people, because of the medical approach and the Western medical approach to wellness and to diagnostics, that becomes something that you feel that you have. And because you have it, you now start to live that as if that is who you are. And I know Wayne Dyer and Louise Hay and so many of these incredible people who have encouraged us to look at the deeper layers of well-being have said, you know, you have to find a new way of identifying and of relating to yourself, so that I am becomes something that will be separate to whatever health condition you're experiencing right now. And that sometimes can be such a big moment for a client to learn to describe themselves in other ways, not to describe yourself as part of the condition that you have or as part of the diagnosis. So think about that and start to find other ways of describing who you are, of relating to yourself completely separately from your diagnosis. Things that I often use and that I try to use in my daily rituals, in my daily self-care approaches. I really like to use cards. So this is a card pack that I recently used for my fasting journey. This is Divine Abundance by Tasha Silver. Again, it's not a religion. It is not something that is fixed. It's more something that really flows with the day. And I use these kind of cards for inspiration. I use them sometimes to get clarity or to ask for clarity. We are connected to so much assistance from above and around us. And if I feel really stuck, I really like to use the cards. People ask me how to use the cards, and this is how I would use the cards. There are many different ways of doing it. Some practitioners or some healers, some psychics would cleanse the cards either with sound or with a smudge, perhaps from incense. But if I have a client in my office for a consultation and I want them to draw some inspiration for their day or their week or their healing journey, I usually recommend that they knock on the pack. Of course, I've handled this pack, perhaps somebody else might have handled it. So for me, this means that this is my energy. I'm asking for some guidance for myself. This is my message. And then when you're going to draw or when you're going to shuffle your pack, you think about what it is that you want clarity about, or what you want inspiration about, what you want guidance about. And then there are different ways of shuffling. Sometimes cards jump out, that one is change. Sometimes if a card jumps, I pay attention to it. But as I'm shuffling, I'm thinking, can I ask for a message from the highest level of consciousness and from the highest aspects of any guides, from God, from the team of light, and from all the other aspects of consciousness that we have access to? So while I'm shuffling, I'm thinking about what I'm asking for guidance about. Because if you're just going to draw a card, you might not know how to interpret that or what that relates to. So if you don't know a particular question you want to ask, you can just think, please show me a message for today. Now, I've already had one card that jumped out. I've shuffled now, and this was just a very simple shuffle. There are other ways, and I will just draw a card from the middle. This card says grief. So whether that relates to me today or to somebody watching this video, the grief card is about tears are what happen when ice in the heart melts. So that's interesting. It might actually relate to my own question. And then the other card that jumped out right in the beginning was change. And the change card says, when the ego finally sees the utter madness of trying to control everything, you come to a sacred crossroads in your own evolution. So I'm going to honor and pay attention to these two cards because they will have some kind of a significant meaning for me and some of the questions perhaps that I've already asked about today. I started my day with a walk, and I walked on the beach. I'm fortunate enough to live by the ocean, took my shoes off, and as I was walking, my mind was just all over the place. And I then thought, no, this can be a much more sacred time that I'm spending walking with my feet on the sand. And I brought myself back, feeling my feet, feeling the sand, feeling the water, sometimes as it came over my feet. And I asked in my own being that I may breathe from the center of the earth and that I be guided. And I invited in all the blessings. So I invited in blessings for abundance, for success, to have a meaningful message to share with the people that I will be speaking to today. And then for my own support, so that I may always feel aligned with my essence and with that which comes out as the highest and best vibration for me. And already things started flowing that way. Please forgive me, I have to keep wiping my lip. It's so hot. Yeah, you can't believe. It feels like I'm sitting in a sauna, and I'm not. The fan is on. So I try and very early on in the day connect with something that feels like it expands me. It helps me to breathe. It helps me to feel supported. because we can so often feel contracted and alone and separate and just fighting our own fight. So that for me was a moment of already connecting with nature, connecting with the divine, connecting with that around me which offers me support. And now I've got the cards. I also like to use some essential oils, and these particular ones, this is the aromatherapy oil called Cleanse. This is from the Neal's Yard range in the UK. I love their blends. And so Cleanse, for example, if I'm going to be doing an energy healing, or if I feel that I've been in a meeting or an environment, or if my home feels like something heavy has become stuck here, I would use a few drops of the Cleanse on my hands. I will smell it. I might even just apply it in that way, and I can just show you how I would do it. So this is the Cleanse. It's a blend. Not sure what's in here. So I take 3 drops into the palm of my hand. I'm now going to just warm this. It's quite a sharp smell, but as I'm smelling this, and I can perhaps apply that, I can apply it in my room, either in a spray, or I can perhaps rub that off on a surface. And this for me is the additional support of whatever the oils are in here. And I don't have the box to tell you what the contents are, but so something like an essential oil. I've also got this beautiful range called Star Child, and I bought this in Glastonbury when I was in the UK 2 years ago, 3 years ago, 2 years ago. Glastonbury Star Child Global. And this is the Love oil. There are also other beautiful ones. I've got so many of these and I really love them. Particularly this one called Protection. So Protection, again, I can apply a few drops on my hand, warm it, smell it. I will apply it over the crown, maybe over my body, or I might put a few drops in a spray bottle and just use that as an atomizer in my space, especially if I feel I'm going into an environment that might be quite tricky, something that I maybe fear, or if I know energies are going to be quite dense and difficult. And then there's love. There are so many. You can go and have a look at that. So I like to use oils. I like to involve the senses. So something that I smell, something that I see, whether it's a candle or an essential oil. I've also got many different crystals. This is the one that's always on my desk. It's a very special kind of a quartz. I cleanse my crystals from time to time. So if I am in a conversation, or if I'm working on something or doing a meditation and I want to again feel that touch of this personal crystal that I've blessed many times, and that I've charged many times, I would then hold this. But it is symbolic for me because I see it all the time. So it's on my desk, it's where I can see it. And maybe in between emails, maybe in between phone calls or Zoom sessions, I might just hold this. And this for me feels like I am recharging myself with the properties of this crystal. I am asking this crystal to perhaps support whatever my intentions are. This is not a magic potion. Of course, if my heart is so full of grief and fear, there's no ways that this can change all of that for me. But I like to use symbols to help support whatever it is that I am working with at the time. Senses again. So this is a texture that I can feel. I've now smelt the aromatherapy oil. I might have lit a candle so I can see the light. It's a symbol for me. And then another tool that I use very often is the tool of sound. So this is a singing bowl, as you can see. and you can hear. So if I am coming into my office first thing in the morning or between clients or after the day, I might use this sound, and I've got several others that I can use, to just use the sound to harmonize the space. Maybe that's a good way of putting it, a way to harmonize the space that I spend a lot of time in, and to feel as I'm doing that, that I'm using my intention to create a sense of harmony. So there are many different tools. I've also done a blessing over my house. I use certain words, I use certain affirmations, and I would happily share with you what else I do. But especially for a practitioner working with people who have got a lot on their minds, where in their bodies there's a lot going on that they're trying to clear, I have to keep the space around me very harmonious. I have to not take on anything that somebody shares with me as if it's my own. So I will even use this over my own body in a way like that, or over my heart. I might use this even over the cards to just feel like I'm adding that vibrational support and that harmony. So just to recap, you are not your diagnosis. You have to define your essence. Who are you? Who are you if you take away any of the conditions that you have, any of the diagnosis or the blood tests? What is your essence? You know, in your purest form, what is that? And how can you support that with tools, essential oils or incense or candles or crystals, sound, smell, texture. I hope that was helpful. Thank you for watching, and I look forward to sharing some more with you in my next video.